Good evening, Bhante and all Kalyanamita. Namo Buddhaya and Sukhi Hontu. I'm Aliana and welcome to Ti-Ratana Vihara Friday Sutta discussion by Bhante Dr. Ganggoda Wila Chandima. Ti-Ratana Vihara would like to inform a great news that the Vihara is going to conduct a one-day non-stay retreat by Bhante Dr. Ganggoda Wila Chandima, named Mudita Retreat, on Saturday, 25th of April 2026 from 8 a.m. till 5 p.m. For further information and registrations regarding to the Mudita retreat, please check on Ti-Ratana Vihara Facebook account or WhatsApp groups. Everyone is welcome to join in and we hope to see you at the retreat. Today is the day 161 of this series of Sutta discussion, the 30th class of Satipaṭṭhāna Sutta with topic Dhammānupassanā, 12 sense bases, the exercise 34 or in Satipaṭṭhāna practices. Satipaṭṭhāna Sutta is the 15th sutta that have been chosen by Bhante Chandima for this sutta discussion series. In previous classes, Bhante has discussed about Manggala Sutta, Ratana Sutta, Metta Sutta, Sigalowada Sutta, Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta, Sabbasawa Sutta, Pattakama Sutta, Pattama Samajivi Sutta, Alawaka Sutta, Dajaga Sutta, Giri Mananda Sutta, Chulakama Vibhanga Sutta, Chunda Sutta, Digajanu Sutta, and Digajanu Sutta, which Bhante has elaborated those sutta in depth. For those who have missed our previous classes, please check on Ti-Ratana Vihara Amapadana Klang's YouTube channel, and we have uploaded the previous classes there. We are always welcoming newcomers, therefore please share around about this class to other friends and family members so that whoever that wish to join the class via Zoom where we can engage directly with Bhante can contact the Vihara administrator. You also can join the class from Ti-Ratana Vihara Facebook channel where we broadcast the Sutta class live on every Friday evening from 8:30 p.m. till 10 p.m. Kuala Lumpur time. Now let me introduce to you about our speaker. Bhante Dr. Ganggoda Wila Chandima was a professor of Buddhist philosophy in Department of Philosophy at Ateneo de Manila University, Philippines. His recent peer-reviewed article, Socrates and Early Buddhist Medical Ethics, Foundation of Moral Reasoning in the Care of Body and Mind, 2025, was published in Buddhi, a journal of ideas and culture of Ateneo de Manila University. Bhante also presented his latest research at the annual meeting of the American Academy of Religion, or AAR, in Boston, USA, in a paper titled Custodian Without Ordination, the Ghanenasi Tradition and Monastic Succession in 17th Century Sri Lanka. Bhante is also the senior advisor to Patisota, a virtual Dhamma organization that hosts a weekly online Pali reading class, Sutta discussion, Dhamma talks, and a variety of other Dhamma activities. His Dhamma work can be accessed at www.patisota.blogspot.com, or we can also follow Bhante at Patisota Facebook account. Without further ado, we welcome once again Bhante, and as always, thank you very much for the wonderful guidance and teaching. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Thank you, Sister Aliana, for the introduction. And good evening, Dhamma friends. Welcome back to our OPRC, sorry, TRV Sutta discussion class. Sutta discussion for the 161th day. I hope that you are not disturbed by the prayer sound bit here in the background. Should be okay. Today I'm at Kedah Buddhist Association in Alusta. I had to give a Dhamma talk here, and tomorrow I'm going to another Buddhist center called Chitra Buddhist Center, somewhere nearby. So Let us start our sutta discussion by respecting. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Right. We would like to ask everyone to mute your audio on your side because I'm having no control over that from this side. Perhaps Brother Lim or Sariana might have the control in case you don't know that your background is okay. So please be mindful about that. Right. I think Sister Yu Only's mic is on here. Would you be kind to mute that, Sister Yu Only? Okay. Right. Okay. Yes, good. Thank you. Okay, so how is the new year so far? Almost 9 days gone. I hope that you have been doing very well, planning on your side, secular things, and then at the same time your Dharma things as well. So as for the Satipaṭṭhāna Sutta, we have come a long way. We have covered almost 33, right? 33 Satipaṭṭhāna exercises as of last Friday. And today we are going to study Satipaṭṭhāna exercise 34. So we have 2 more to go. That is about Bojjhanga, 35, and then 4 Noble Truths, 36. And then we are done. We are done means actually we have to look at the what you call the conclusion part of the Satipaṭṭhāna Sutta, where we see some information about the progress of the Satipaṭṭhāna Sutta, and then I think we can cover it even with a review. I think we can just connect review and then study that part too. So I think roughly 3 more days at the moment. So we can cover Satipaṭṭhāna Sutta. And I don't know what is the next sutta. I have to think about and then let you know about it. All right. So before I jump into today's topic, may I ask you a follow-up question? I hope that you are reading the notes so far. Don't read right away. Take your time. Okay. You need to take some time and read and reread, right? So the way how we have been studying Satipaṭṭhāna Sutta was based on a sensible translation, a sensible English translation, without tarnishing the original early Buddhist idea, and also to sort of I would say dispel some of the misunderstanding about certain Satipaṭṭhāna practices. I think these are 2 very important things which we discuss along Kayanupasana, Vedananupasana, Chittanupasana. Dhammānupassanā we have no lot of problems, but I think Kayanupasana, Vedana, especially Kayanupasana, was the main area where many people misunderstand. Because there are translations. Yes. Aliana, can you make me the post?
Yes, Bhante, I will
please,
ask
maybe the co-host.
Brother Lim.
Maybe the co-host. Yeah. And
Bhante, if Brother Lim is the host, then
yeah,
he can mute everybody, but just
yeah.
they
I was just designated as co-host, so I have some kind of control over that. Yes. Now it's all good. Yes. All right. So when it comes to our previous Satipaṭṭhāna exercises, we highlighted about especially Kaya-Nupassana practices. I think you may remember how we highlighted. So today, before we jump into somebody called Dhammānupassanā as another practice, third practice, which is about 12 sense bases. I have a question about the previous class. It's about, what did we discuss about?
5 clinging aggregates, Bhante.
5 cleaning aggregates. So how did we conclude our class last Friday? I think there are those who could not attend last Friday. Perhaps we can just have a refresher about it in short. So we know in our life, as a sentient being, we have 5 aggregates, right? It's a very common, very basic thing. Rupa, form, Vedana, feeling, Sanya, perception, Sankhara, karma, and then Vijnana, consciousness, right? These are very basic teaching. And this is common to all sentient beings. Can you identify the sentient beings? Who do you understand? Who do you identify as sentient beings? Manusa, human beings, definitely. Then animals. Who else?
Creatures, insects, animal,
Yeah, all animals.
all animals,
So
including the
who are the other sentient beings that are part of that are having the 5 aggregates? Humans,
Breathe in the
animals.
woeful plains.
Theta,
Ah.
Bhante.
Breathe in the woeful plains. The hell
How about Devas? Devas heavenly
So we have to
and the
say
Deva.
heavenly beings.
beings in the
Brahma.
Deva world.
Bhuma,
Deva
Deva,
world.
Yeah, beings in the Deva world includes every Deva, and then beings in the hells. Okay, that includes hellish beings, animals, and then hungry ghost, right? And then, is there any particular category we missed out on this sentient being category who have 5 aggregates?
Brahma world, Bhante.
Brahmas. Actually, they are the higher devas. They are called as higher deva, not deva. Higher deva. Because if you look at the 31 realms in the Buddhist cosmology, the last 20, okay, the last 20 make up of all the Brahmas, starting from material Brahma worlds and then immaterial Brahma worlds. I mean, just making you to understand, right? So then we discuss 5 aggregates this way. And we also discuss parallel to 5 aggregates, we also have a common 4 elements that we all carry, regardless of animate, inanimate beings. Patavi, Apo, Tejo, Vayu, right? Solidity or solid stuff. Apo means liquid stuff. Tejo means heat. And Vayu means air. So these 4 elements are common to everything, not even sentient beings, right? And we didn't want to talk about Abhidhamma. No, Abhidhamma talks about another 4, right? Vanna, Gandha, Rasa, Oja. That's that's a different discussion, but we don't need to learn that here. Basically, we learn Patavi, Apo, Tejo, Vaya. Now the question is, what did the Buddha mean by 5 clinging aggregates in the previous Satipaṭṭhāna exercise, which comes under the Dhammānupassanā? What is he trying to say in that exercise? He's trying to say that having 5 aggregates is a common thing to all sentient beings. But the problem arises when sentient beings are going to cling to
Pradana.
5 aggregates. Cling to me, when sentient beings create upadana, clinging towards rupakanda, form, feeling vedana, perception sanya, karma sankara, consciousness, vijnana. That is the problem. So if a yogi or yogini, someone who practices Buddhism, can understand how his rupa becoming obsessed with things, and how his or her rupa is affected by rupadana clinging, how his or her vedana feelings being affected by clinging upadana, how his or her perceptions are being affected by the clinging, how his or her karma being affected by upadana clinging, how his or her vijnana consciousness is being affected by upadana clinging. That is a Satipaṭṭhāna under Dhammānupassanā. Can you observe that in your life? If we talk in general, can you observe how your rupakanda, how your seeing, how your sight is being affected by the clinging? We can, but you need training for that, right? You need some sort of training. That training is what you call by the previous Satipaṭṭhāna exercise. So how to train yourself for that? I know you train yourself by participating in different activities, but eventually it should come into your daily life, right? Now think about your feeling. How can your feeling be affected by upadana? You have a pleasant feeling about something. Is pleasant feeling a bad feeling? No. Sata rupanga, Pali we say sata rupang. S long A T is sata. And then asata rupang, asata means you can
Unpleasant.
say sata vedana, asata vedana. So sata means happy or pleasant feeling. Asata means unhappy feeling. I think we all go through these feelings every day, depending on the situation, conditions, right? Sometimes we cannot control these things, right? We are being processed by external things. That's a normal perception. So the problem is when I go through my likable, pleasant feeling, if I try to become obsessed with that pleasant feeling, then I will create opportunities for upadana to arise in that. So also the unpleasant feeling. Think about, I'm going through a very unhappy feeling. Think about, I was expecting a very sunny day, and all of a sudden, proving the best example for impermanence is weather, and weather is becoming change. And then you see that there is a change in weather. Suddenly there is a rain. And now your old plans don't seem working in that particular weather situation. So then, rather than understanding that unhappy, unpleasant feeling can arise any moment, that particular person is going to be in conflict with that external condition, right? So clinging can happen through sata and asata, through pleasant, through unpleasant thing. Clinging is not always happening from pleasant stuff. Clinging is also happening from unpleasant stuff, right? So that's why we have to observe these conditions in our daily life. Otherwise, we cannot practice the previous Satipaṭṭhāna. Okay, so today we are going to discuss about the next, Dhammānupassanā, Satipaṭṭhāna, which is about 12 sense bases. Let's take a look at the note here. Exercise 34. You can see here internal and external, right? Normally we will put it the other way around, because normally eyes are very inner center, sights come to the eyes, right? This way around. Sounds come to ear, and smell comes to the nose. Tastes come to tongue. And then touch comes to body. Mental objects come to mind, right? Is it? What are you going through is the opposite, all the way, the opposite side. Your eye goes to sight, your ear goes to sound, your nose goes to smell, odor, the tongue goes to taste, body goes to touch, mind goes to mental object. That is going to be a very pathetic moment, right? Right. If that happens, if your eyes are always going into sights, your ears are always going for the sounds. Your nose always chases after, goes after smell. Your tongue is always chasing after the taste. Your body always looking for the touch. Your mind always goes for the thought. What could be a good framework over here? I think the first thing, if sights go to your eyes, that is normal, right? You can't stop it. If sounds go to your ears, that is very normal, right? Then we will talk about how to manage that sensory experience, right? Okay, right. Can you remember a sutta that I shared some time ago about sensory experience? Can you remember the name of that sutta? I'm asking without naming the sutta, just to see whether you can remember. This was discussed perhaps 1 year ago, maybe before, even before.
Is it Salayatana?
Not exactly. This is a sutta coming in the Majjhima Nikaya, the last sutta in the Majjhima Nikaya. What is the last sutta in the Majjhima Nikaya?
Oh, Indriya
Indriya Bhavana Sutta.
Bhavana Sutta.
Majjhima Nikaya has
15152.
Yes, Majjhima Nikaya has 152 suttas, starting from Mulapariyaya Sutta, ending in the Indriya Bhavana Sutta. We are doing Sutta study, right? So we should have a sort of technical knowledge about Sutta, right? Little bit. So the last sutta in the Majjhima Nikaya is very interesting about how to manage our senses. I think we will talk about it a little bit, maybe a few minutes, and get to this point, because that is a good approach to 12 sense bases. In this sutta, one man approaches the Buddha, and he was wondering to know from the Buddha how he teaches the management of senses. He was very wondering. But Buddha wanted him to teach, him to share how his teacher taught him what to do. I think this is a very good discussion, because if you are asked by somebody to tell him or her, can you share with me how your Buddhist teacher, Dharma teacher taught you to take care of your, maybe manage your senses? Because it's a very common question that anybody can ask, right? So anyways, this young man started sharing with Buddha, okay, our teacher told us, if we happen to see someone or something that we don't like, at that point, he asks us to close our eyes. At that point, he asks us to close our eyes. Then only I can manage, I can manage my eyes. Has anybody learned this kind of a teaching somewhere with regard to your sensory experiences under the bracket of wisdom? When you go learn from somewhere, What can I do? I see bad people. I see people I don't like. And then, what was the very common advice that can be given by somebody?
Walk away.
Look away.
Walk away, close your eyes, right? Don't go there, you know. I think this is the same teaching that young man's teacher gave him. Buddha said, okay. Buddha wanted more information to give him the Dhamma talk, right? Because Buddha was listening to others a lot. He does not merely give a Dhamma talk. He was listening. What is going on with your life? Then only I can understand what I'm going to talk to you, right? Is listening very important in our life? Very important, right? Especially at a time that we have lost our communication, right? Nowadays, we have lost our communication. You might be surprised. How come? We are chatting, messaging. Yes. Now our communication has become more non-verbal. Messages, right? Even you want to send something to your family member who is cooking maybe in the kitchen, you send through a certain message through an app. It has to go to US server, go to US, come back to your house again. You know, they're thinking that is the nicest way to learn. Okay, how soon are you going to finish cooking? Let me know through a message, right? Things have come down to non-verbal communication nowadays. You believe it or not? There are pros and cons, right? But the problem is when you don't talk to other people eye to eye, face to face, there may be certain insecurities that can create. If you see that a lot of families go through these issues, they start suspecting each other because they are more to non-verbal communication side. Anyways, now I'm going back to the story. Then the Buddha wanted to know from him. They started saying, our teacher advised us, told us, when you hear voices, sounds that we don't like, then we have to cover our ears. Maybe we have to walk away, just like in the previous example. In the same way, he explained to the Buddha, his teacher advised him and other followers to walk away and to cover. Okay. Then the Buddha started explaining his own analysis about it. I will tell you something interesting. Remember when we discussed Sabbasava Sutta a long time ago, few years back? In the Sabbasava Sutta, Buddha says there are some situations that you have to walk away. Remember? What are those situations? When you go through a road where there are a lot of dangerous dogs, stray dogs, and some animals are trying to disturb you, right? So you have to quit that road. If there is a road that has thorny stuff, they can prick you. You have to avoid. Normally, Buddha is asking monks to avoid unnecessary things. But when it comes to sensory experience, in this sutta, having listened to this young man, the Buddha started replying to him, okay, the Buddhist way to manage sensory experience is different than this. And he was trying to kind of give a bit of humor about it. Uh, if it is the best way to manage our eyes by closing our eyes, covering our eyes, when we are seeing pleasant things, then if that kind of management will lead everyone to attain Nibbana, covering eyes, seeing nothing, at that point, then the blind people will get to Nibbana faster than everybody of us. Are they attaining Nibbana faster than us? They can use the Braille Tripitaka, Braille system to touch the Tripitaka Sutta, right? But there's nothing important happen from them. Then if the advice that you shared before, saying that when you hear unpleasant sounds, then if your teacher asks you to cover your ears, then I tell you what you call those people who cannot hear anything, right? Then they should be able to attain Nibbana faster than you. Then I think when you are getting older, you must attain Nibbana because you cannot hear a lot of things, right? Then let's wait. Don't do anything. Let's wait until you become 80, 90. You will attain Nibbana. Will you attain Nibbana? You don't have to struggle now there. Right? So in this way, the Buddha said, then same thing applies to nose. So when you smell an unpleasant smell, try to cover your nostrils. So I mean, people do that, right? People do it sometime when they smell a very bad thing, but they can't do it that longer, right? Because if the smell is very bad, so you have to maybe walk away, right? So anyways, the Buddha was teaching us to embrace, accept the situation rather than running away from that, right? Actually, can you walk away from the people all the time? There are people who are doing that, and they are invited for a party, some kind of party. So they are calling earlier, is that person coming to the party or not? Now the plan is to not to go if that person shows up in the party. Because you are even putting other people, organizers, into trouble, Asking them earlier, are they coming or not? Right? Why say? So even you bump into anybody you don't like, doesn't matter. You just enjoy the moment. That is Buddhism. Don't walk away, don't run away. Buddhism has no place for escapism. Buddhism is not an escapism strategy. People think when everything doesn't go well in their life, they come to Buddhism. Right? They think this is the, what you call, escapist route. No, Buddhism is not an escapism. It is teaching us to embrace life, accept life. The more you accept life, the wiser you are, happier you are, calmer you are. Right? So this is the bigger understanding about sensory experience. Okay, with that in mind, now let us move into the sutta. Here. So I think the better way is the other way around. Sights, you can't stop sights to come to eye, sounds to come to ear, odors or smells come to nose, taste comes to tongue, touch comes to body, mental objects come to mind. Right? Let them come to you. But the attitude, the perception that you are developing should better be a wholesome one. Right? So you don't have to escape from the pleasant stuff. Right? Now you are seeing a very beautiful, handsome, pretty person, and oh no. Raga will come to me now. I have to run away. Right? Turn off that program. That is not the way. A Buddhist watches, but never creates clinging to that. That is the Buddhist way. Right? Even the sound, even the smell, even the taste. Right? So that is basically the understanding here. Okay. Okay, because of the timing, I will read today, same time, Dhammānupassanā, contemplation of the 12 sense bases. Punaca parang bhikkhave bhikkhu dhammesu dhammānupassī viharati. Chasu ajjattika bahiresu. Please pay attention to this part. Chasu ajjattika bahiresu ayatane. Chasu means 6. So 2 pairs of 6. 6 for ajjatika, that means internal. Bahira means external. You can see here. Ajjatika, bahira. Katanca pana bhikkave bhikkhu dhammesu dhammānupassī viharati chasu ajjatika bahira. Okay. A bhikkhu dwells contemplating mental phenomena as mental phenomena about the 6 internal and external sense spaces. Now, why the Buddha is saying Dhammesu Dhammānupassanā? Mental phenomena as mental phenomena. Do we take the same way in our normal life? Do we take mental phenomena as mental phenomena, or do we take mental phenomena as my mental phenomena?
Mental phenomena as mental phenomena.
No, that is the way that Buddha is asking us to do. But how do we normally take them? Do we take mental phenomena as mental phenomena, or mental phenomena as my mental phenomena, our family mental phenomena? This is the problem. This is why the Buddha is saying Dhammesu, not my Dhamma phenomena, Dhamma as Dhamma, mental phenomena as mental phenomena. Let us look at this way, otherwise we won't understand this. We will only learn as a knowledge. Dhammesu Dhamman, the earlier Chitta as Chitta, not my Chitta, not my mother's Chitta, not my other people's Chitta. Vedana is Vedana. My feeling is not my feeling. There is a anger feeling, or I would say there is an unpleasant feeling, and then I understand that unpleasant feeling, not my feeling. You go back to Kayanupassanā, we talk about a lot of things.
Yes.
Go back to the first practice, breath meditation. How were we asked to do? I am having a long breath. Oh, there is a long breath happening now. Very interesting, right? There is a short breath. I am having a short. There are people, okay, let me take a long breath now. Oh, I'm having a long breath. That is breath meditation to them. How is it going to work? Then you are creating upadana and all that in that practice. It is not the Satipaṭṭhāna practice. And going back to the posture, what did the Buddha say? When walking, there is a walking hand. When sitting, there is a sitting. When lying down, there's a lying down. When standing, there's a lying down. But for other people, when I walk, I know I walk. When I stand, I know I stand. So where is Satipaṭṭhāna? And going back to the next one, Sampajana, right? Eating, chewing, everything, almost everything should be understood without that I, me, myself bracket. Then only I can cut down my upadana towards those activities. And think about Patikkula Manasikara, 31 body parts. How did the Buddha ask us to practice it? Atti imasmin kai kesaloma nakadatta tachoman sangaro. Oh, I have head hair. I have body hair. Kesaloma. I have nails. I have nakadanta, teeth. I have tacho. Tacho means? Tacho.
Tacho skin.
The largest organ in the body, skin. Then, how did the Buddha to contemplate that I have each and everything? Oh, in the body there is head hair. In the body there is body hair. In the body there is teeth. That is how the Buddha has to do it. So then I understand with regard to all sentient beings, internally, externally, all sentient beings carry these 31 body parts depending on their nature of their life. So we are not talking about a bacteria or virus, but we are talking about general sentient beings, right? So then finally, what is happening at the end? Everyone understands that 31 body parts should be observed without I, me, myself. That is Patikkula Manasikara, Satipaṭṭhāna, Kayanupassanā. So then, this is how the Buddha asks us to practice Satipaṭṭhāna practices. All the way from Kayanupassanā, Vedana, Chitta, here Dhamma. Okay, so going back to here, Dhammesu Dhammānupassanā means you contemplate mental phenomena as mental phenomena, not your mental phenomena, but mental phenomena as mental phenomena. And then now this understanding is channeled through 6 internal, 6 external sense bases. Now, I have given here one by one the sets, the pairs. Rupa, what do you call? Chakku, Rupa, eye and visible form, sight. Then here, Sota, Saddha, ear and sounds. Here, Gana and then Gana and Gandha, nose and smell odors. Here, what is it? Jivha and Rasa, tongue and taste. Here, Kaya and then Pottabha, body and touch, tangible objects. Here, Mano and Dhamma, mind and mental phenomena. This is what this particular Satipaṭṭhāna is trying to emphasize. Okay, so we will look at it and finally inside part here. We will take, depending on the time, couple of them. Let's go to Ida bhikkave bhikkhu chakkuncha pajanati rupecha pajanati tu yancha tadubayang paticca uppajjati sangyojana tancha pajanati. 3. Here, I'll see 1. Then here, the second. Sorry, this is the second, the third, and then yatacha anuppannasa sanyojanasa uppado hoti tancha pajana. Then 4. Yatacha uppannasa sanyojanasa pahanam hoti tancha pajana. 5. Yatacha pahinasa sanyojanasa ayating anuppado hoti. 6. What does it mean now? For every pair of sense bases, internal and external, we should be able to see 6 aspects. We have to know 6 aspects. Let's take a look at the eyes and sights. Chakkuncha pajanati. Understand eye. What to understand with regard to our eyes? Somebody might think, if I want to know about my eye, go to the ophthalmologist. My eye doctor. What else should I know about my eyes? Right? What does it mean by knowing, understanding my eyes? Is taking care of our eyes in today's world very important? Yes, right? Because we are consuming enormous time for digital screens, right? With the blue light and all that, always looking at, watching, reading, right? So we never know what will happen to us because we haven't experienced, the world has not experienced this kind of a stage in the last 20 years. This is pretty new to stick to screens that much time. Especially our young generation, you can't even bring them out without the gadgets nowadays, right? We never know what will happen to us. It is not about the medical aspect of knowing eyes, right? But what do we know as some of the practical realities about taking care of eyes. Eyes would like to see greenery. Do you agree with that?
Yes.
Eyes would like to see the green, maybe in the forest, maybe in the trees, right? Eyes need a rest, right? We have to limit our screen time, right? These are very practical stuff. You believe it or not, very practical things. And what else? What are the other things you have to know about eyes? If you don't take care of your sugar level, you might go to the glaucoma. Diabetes will take you to even affecting your eyes. So these are practical stuff. Are there any other things you know about taking care of eyes? Some food about improving eye health? And then what else? There are many things. You may study under the medical side about it. But what does it mean by knowing my eyes? Chakkuncha pajanati. Okay, let us cover the note at this point. Go down over here. Okay, should be here. See. Chakku, internal capacity to see. Rupa, visual field, shapes, colors, screen, faces. So, back here. What do you mean by knowing the eyes? The knowing the eyes information were given by the Buddha after this. The Buddha wanted us to know how can our eye experience become affected with the clinging. That is knowing the eye. Now it is going beyond the medical knowledge of knowing the eyes. Okay. Now first is I have to know my physical naked eyes. I have to know the sights. That thing is a little bit explained, right? Sights, right? What to see, what not to see, how to see, right? That is pretty understood. Maybe we have to avoid unethical things, right? That is understood. And then after that, the Buddha is talking about four another important stuff. What are they? This is done already. First part, Chakuncha, knowing the eyes, understanding the eyes. Rupeta pajanati, sights that come to the eyes. That is also pretty understandable. Then yancha tadubhaya paticca uppajjati sanyojana tancha pajana. When eyes are vulnerable to sights that are coming outside, then what will happen? Depending on these two, depending on the connection that these two make, there will be fetters that are arising. Now the Buddha is saying Sanyojana, fetters. I think you know Sanyojana, right?
Yes.
What are the Sanyojanas? How many Sanyojanas are there in Buddhism, which the Buddha talks us? The Buddha says
And
Sanyojanas have tied us into a cage. Now think about a dog in a cage, tied with one chain. There are some other animals who have been chained by many chains, like an elephant, right? Some elephants have been chained by 4 chains, 5 chains, 6 chains, depending on the domestication, right? Think about that. Buddha saying, in the samsara, we have been chained by 10 chains. Not even 1 chain, 10 chains. Now you might think about, where is the first chain? Is it to my neck? No. They are abstract chains that have enshackled us into the samsara. So there are 10, right? What are the 10? Sakkaya Ditti,
Ditti,
personality belief, Vicikicca, Silabbata Paramasa, doubts about spirituality, and then
Vyapada,
clinging to rites and rituals tree. Then what are the other two? Third,
Kamaraga,
fourth, fifth, Kamaraga, lust,
then
and
Patika,
Patiga, mental striking.
mental
And then there are the 5, Ruparaga.
Rupa,
Ruparaga means,
you will
Ruparaga means
material, material forms,
material,
desire,
ranks of material,
material, immaterial,
attachment to material,
you
Yeah.
will,
Ruparaga, Aruparaga, Mana,
formless,
Uddhacca, Avijja. Last
avijja,
part, no? I think these are bigger chains. You know, when you go to a hardware shop, you see small chain, bigger chain, right? Class 5 are bigger ones, very, very large chains. You cannot easily let go. Try to manage to go out. So Ruparaga means desire to be reborn in Brahma places, Brahma worlds, 20 Brahma worlds. Sorry, 16 Brahma worlds. Aruparaga means desire to be reborn in Arupa. There are 4 Arupa worlds. Akasananchayatana, Akinchanyayatana, Vinyananchaya, Nimsanyanasan. Then Mana, conceit. Uddhacha means restlessness in our thoughts, and Avijja means ignorance. These are the 10 Sanyojana fetters. Now the Buddha is teaching us something very interesting. Have you ever heard how do Sanyojanas arise? You only know Sanyojana, right? How have you ever found out any sutta where Buddha talks about how do Sanyojanas arise? How do they work in our life? This is the sutta for that. Sanyojanas are arising through the pair of sensory experience. They are not happening from elsewhere. Now we have to understand when my eyes work with the external sights, depending on this relationship, there is a room for Samyojana to arise. Make sense? When my ears work with the external sounds that are coming to it, or the sounds that my ears want to follow, it can work on the both ways, in both ways. So then there's a room for fetters to arise, samyona to arise. When my nose and the smell work together, in either way, from nose to smell or smell to nose, then there's a room for appropriate clingings to arise. Sorry, the fetters to arise. And when my tongue and the taste work together, there's room, opportunity for samyojana to arise. When my body and touch work together, there's a room for fetters to arise. When my conscious mind and thoughts work together, there are so many opportunities for fetters to arise. Is it very interesting? Yes, now we know how do samyojanas arise. Okay. Now here, when the Buddha is teaching us, you need to know your senses, internal senses, and external senses mean this inseparable connection and the room for samyojanas to arise. We have to know that. Okay. Now still you might be a little bit confused. Huh? You still cannot understand how to do it, right? The next 3 will tell us how to do it. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. Then 4, 5, 6 will be the working. Yatacha anuppannassa sanyojanassa uppado hoti tancha pajana. What does it mean? It means how the arising of an unarisen fetter comes to be. That means now there is a certain fetter that has arisen already in you. Oh, you have to know it. It has arisen. Sometimes fetters have arisen, but we don't know, right? Are there situations like that? Yes, there are plenty of situations. I think about you have so many spiritual doubts, but you never approach any relevant person and ask those questions from anyone. And you pass away with the questions for the next life. Never know, you will find out somebody to ask, right? You'll be in trouble. In Chulakamma Vibhanga Sutta, we discussed that if you don't ask questions from the right person or whoever, then you will be born unwise in the next life. Would that be nice for you? Hurry up, you never know what will happen, right? So that's why it's very important to know when the fetters have arisen in us. Think about Kamaraga. Oh, I'm so crushed with temptations one time. Do I know that temptations came to me, or did I tell myself that now you have to search for the objects of the temptation? Okay? What the Buddha is trying to tell us here is that being able to understand temptations without creating I, me, myself scenario. Think about a very small example. I am angry versus there is anger. Which one do you normally go through in your life when anger comes to you? How do you process it? When you are angry, how do you process your anger normally? Do you normally say, I am angry and I want to find out the culprits of who made me angry at that point? Or there is anger.
There is anger.
Huh? There is anger is a very good, wise understanding. I mean, if you could do that. But normally what will happen? People are trying to say, I am angry, you are the one who made me angry, push my buttons now. Then we cannot see the reality. When jealousy attacks me, I am jealous, why did I not achieve like that person? We are in the same college. We were in the same place. We grew together. Why not me? And then, but there is somebody who is thinking differently. There is jealousy in me now. Or there is jealousy. Can see the jealousy separately. Right? In the same way, when the fetters come to you, whatever the fetters out of those 10, let's take one very famous fetter, very, very usual one. Mana. Mana means you measure out, right? Size up. Always compare. uh, you to other people to you, right? This is a very, we all have it. We have to accept that. But the thing is that if you know about your mana, you are very good. But unfortunately, not many people can know when the mana hits them. They are driven by mana and behaves with regard to mana. So here now the Buddha is saying, knowing eye, knowing sight, knowing the opportunity for the fetter to arise because of the eye and sight connection. Now still we are confused how to do it. In order to know that properly, we have to know when fetters already
Exactly.
arose in our life. That is the first thing we have to know. So knowing, to know that fetters are risen already, we have to accept and know it. Then second thing is now what to do. Now we have to do something, right? We cannot just stay doing nothing. The Buddha is saying what to do.
Abandon it.
Yata ca uppannassa sangojanassa pahina oti tancha pajana. Then I have to know, I have to have the knowledge how to abandon, how to remove it. Understand abandoning of a reason fetter comes to me. Then what to do? Let's say I am so much driven by one of the fetters. Let's talk about Sakkaya Ditthi, Vicikiccha, Silabbata Paramas. Right? Let's say that I am very driven by, I understand that I am into Silabbata Paramas. May I know how to understand that we have Silabbata Paramas? Give me an example. Give me your own example how you check your Silabbata Paramas. Yes.
Our physical reaction, like tightening of our fist, the angry feeling on our face, and the palpitation in the heart.
Silabbata Paramasa. Silabbata Paramasa means, Paramasa is another word for clinging, Upadana. Okay.
For example,
Sila means precepts.
yeah.
Bata means rights. Clinging to Sila, and the Buddha is very interestingly giving that. That means we should never cling to our precepts.
Yes.
Now you understand, right?
Yes.
Never cling to your own 5 precepts or whatever the precept or Sila in general, and never cling to the rites, rituals. It doesn't mean we cannot do rituals, huh? Don't misunderstand.
Yes.
Don't misunderstand. Buddha said in the Silabbata Paramasa, we cannot do rituals. We are Chinese, we cannot do these rituals in Buddhism. No, you have to do rituals. But understand how much rituals I am going to engage. When you are in rituals, you have to know this is a ritual. That's enough. And engage in rituals as necessary because your culture, your temples, or there are rituals. Think about Vesak flow. It's a ritual. It's a good thing. And doing what you call bhakti devotional songs about the Buddha on the Vesak day, it's a ritual. Right? There are rituals. I mean, they are not the exact teachings, but they are rituals. But those rituals are not meaningless ones.
Wholesome.
They have a meaning
Yeah.
to get together, showcase the Buddhism and all that. But according to the teachings, they are rituals. But the problem here, never cling to the ritual. Never cling to, not even to ritual, never cling to your sila. Now tell me one example that you have seen by yourself that when your sila became a clinging. Give me an example for that.
Taking the first precept to the extreme where you don't want to eat
in extreme ways. Yes, taking precepts in extreme ways. Right? Now think about it. I will give you a little bit funny example I already discussed with you. You come down with the flu. You try a lot of over-the-counter medications. Nothing worked out, and then finally, you could find out a good doctor, and you go there, and the doctor is saying, "You have a virus." So I give you an antibiotic course for this. It's very strong medication. You must eat well and then you take it after. No, I'm a Buddhist. Are you gonna kill the virus? Cannot do that. I'm a Buddhist. Oh, you have to decide whether you should let virus live or you will die. You have to decide between these two. Because the virus, sentient being, can we become that extreme? Taking medication means that we're gonna kill them? No, taking medication means you just have to survive as a human being. Right? So an extreme way to practice sila could be not taking the required medical advice in that case. What could be another example? About precepts, because we have to keep going with the time. What could be another example when people practice sila in a very extreme way?
Killing mosquito or the killing of termite, we have to prevent the house from being damaged. So if sometimes accidentally kill the mosquito also, it's okay because it's unintentional. And then mosquito, so it's okay. You don't have to feel very bad and it's so minor. But
Well,
don't make it a habit lah. You keep your house
we have
clean,
to,
close your window early.
yeah, we have to find a refined idea about it. Actually,
Yeah.
we don't say it's okay, somebody's life, because mosquito is small, but it's a life. Right? Then we were talking about how to prevent opportunities to create akusala. That's very important. Some people are waiting to challenge the akusala. I'm a Buddhist, I can live anywhere, but in order to practice sila and then wholesome kusala activities, you have to prepare for it. So being able to close and all that. Our first approach is not killing, right? We try to do something less harmful, maybe not harm the stuff, right? Right? So we cannot create an idea that killing is good, right?
Yes.
But there are situations. Now think about there's a Buddhist who joins law enforcement, right? Maybe there's a Buddhist who joins a scientific lab. How are they going to look at the precept? I'm not trying to make it very generalized. There are situations. So don't practice sila too rigidly, too tightly, and it will pressurize you. But try to protect them as much as possible. Try to protect. Try to take care of them. Right? So anyways, when you see that, Silapada Paramasa is one of the fetters. Now, let's say that you have Silapada Paramasa as a matter of not understanding the process here. Right? And then, now you know Silapada Paramasa has arisen in you very much. Now you want to remove it. How to remove it? Try not to become extreme in your sila. Right? Are the precepts negotiable? That's a good question. Are the 5 precepts negotiable? Can you negotiate? Can you make a deal with the mosquitoes? I don't think it is going to work out. Are they negotiable? They are not negotiable. Then if they are not negotiable, then we have to act early before things happen. Right? Let's say you are not cleaning your kitchen and ants come into your kitchen and then cockroaches come to your kitchen. Now kitchen is a mess and you have what to do now, right? I don't want to practice Silapada Paramas. I want to buy the bygone and then want to spray and all the cockroaches will be killed. That's not the way. So as a Buddhist, as a follower of the Buddha, we have to act early. Right? So a lot of things are like that. So here what we need to understand is when it comes to any fetter that is arising because of the eye and size, you need to now know. At the same time, you need to remove it. How to remove it? How to remove it? Not to let it arise again and again, but to find the conditions that will arise. And finally, Yatacha pahinasa samyojanasa ayatim anupad. Ayatim means future. Anupado means non-arising. Now, when the fetter arose, then you have to make sure that this fetter will not arise again in that strength in the future, because I know how that fetter samyojana, how that fetter arises through the connection of the sensory, internal, external sense bases. Right? So this is the same structure that keeps going for the 6 sense bases. Internal and external will become 12. Ear. So Tantra Pajanati. That means now you have to work on 6 strategies with regard to sense bases. Number 1, to know it, know the particular internal sense faculty. Number 2, to know the external sense faculty. Number 3, how does the fetter arise through the connection, dependent connection between the internal and external sense faculty. And then what to do with regard to the recent one, recent sense, what you call fetter, removing, and then what to do with regard to non-arising. Same applies to ear sound, nose smell, tongue taste, body and touch, and mind and mental phenomena. Now we come down to insights. Here, what do we have to understand? Iti ajjatang va dhamme Dhammānupassi bahiddhava, which means universalizing the nature of the 10 sense bases. That means when I know how I go through sense bases, then I have to also universalize, externalize the same experience that everybody else is going through this experience, right? That will help us not to create any spiritual pride about us. And then we are also supposed to look at how do the sense bases start, how do they not start. May I know how do our sense bases start? Why did we get all these 12? Because we are in the samsara, right? We are in the samsara. That's why we got it. If we are not in the samsara, we don't have. Why means that. And then finally, then at this point, Buddha is asking us the usual final insight. That means we have to practice right mindfulness to the extent jnana mattai, patisati mattai, repeated right mindfulness, to the point that we are not going to depend on the 5 aggregates, anisthitocha viharati, and we are not going to associate them anymore, because our world is that. Okay, going into the notes here, let's see. Okay, how an unarisen fetter comes to arise. This is the 4th one, right? And how an arisen fetter is removed, abandoned, how a removed fetter does not arise again in the future. This is what we discussed. All right. You can see the same information. Here, I want to tell you something interesting. Now, what are the fetters that are arising with regard to these 6 senses? Are they different or are they very similar? Now, there are 10 fetters, right? What do you call Sakkaya Ditthi until, what do you call? Avijja. Are they all having opportunities to arise with regard to any of those 6 pairs of sense bases? Yes.
Yes.
That is what you need to know.
Yes.
Right? So I basically put very, what you call major ones. Here you can see Kamaraga, Sakkaya Ditthi, Patigga, but the rest are also having a lot of opportunities to arise. Can we look at this side? How is this, what you call Chakku and Rupa fetter thing abandoned? Seeing is known as seeing, not as beauty or, well, we can consider giving a compliment to someone that you are beautiful. Is it un-Buddhist? Is
No.
it un-Buddhist to say that someone is beautiful? No. We
Like
have to complement, right? Because that's
Yes.
what we see. But the problem is when you are always trying to perceive the world in that way, right? When your perception is going into a clinging with regard to the beauty, that could be a problem. But otherwise, just trying to see the beauty as a beauty, it is a normal experience. Right? That is what we have seen here. Because that understanding comes to us that image, the sight is seen as impermanent, constructed, dependently a result. So through the conditions that happen. And this kind of knowledge, when we are using for abandoning or removing the fetter, helps us to not to repeat the non-identification and some other aspects with regard to craving, right? It prevents envy, lust, and whatever other insecurities. It trains our ethical see in other things too, in our life, advertising, social media, consumer culture. So are the other information. You can take a look. Because of the timing, we don't have time to cover all that, but you can read. What is very important at the end when we discuss about these 12 sense bases is, okay, why these 6 pairs matter in daily life? When we know the mechanism, the 6 mechanism, together they show where unwholesomeness actually begins. Do we really want to know how do our unwholesome activities arise? Yes, we want to know, right? Then we can manage, can stop it and manage. And then shift practice from suppression to understanding. Do you suppress yourself sometimes?
Yes. Restraint.
Suppression and restraint are 2 things. Right? Some people want to clench their teeth. Oh, akusala, go away. They are having a really hard time, No, Buddha is saying, try to wisely understand the problem. So you don't have to have a tight jaw, clench your teeth. Akusala is coming, let's run away, But finally, akusala will get you. Because you don't have an understanding. You simply walk away from the akusala. Right? So, understanding 12 sense bases teach us not to suppress the fetters, rather wisely understand the working of the fetters. It will help us to better, wisely, healthily manage our fetters, right? But in some of the, I think there is one sutta where Buddha is saying some worst case scenarios. I
Clench
think
your teeth.
sutta is, what is that sutta? Vitakka
Mm.
Perhaps Vitakka. In that sutta, there is a certain saying that if none of the wise management of akusala is going to work, at least you clench your teeth and stop it.
Yes.
Right? We
Yeah.
find it. But that idea is not widely promoted in the text. Right? Because it's better to wisely understand what's going on. What are the fetters that are challenging me? Or what to do, what not to do, right? That is the better way. So suppression, repression, they are not good stuff. So rather to wisely understand what to do, then if anything happens in you, around you, you are not disturbed by that. You are happily maintaining yourself. Train in sense flow mindfulness, the first defense against greed, hatred, delusion, lobha, dosa, moha. This is the entry point with regard to greed, hatred, delusion, right? So we manage this. Finally, transform ordinary life into a continuous field of insight. We all have the ordinary life, but although you are spending that life, you know how to insightfully, wisely spend that ordinary life. Because you know these 12. Unwholesome states don't arise randomly, they arise at the sense doors and they cease at the sense doors if you know how to manage like above. So the 12 sense bases are not a theory of perception. They are a map of liberation daily life. By knowing the bases, contact, passa, fetter, That means Sanghajana, it's arising, removing or abandoning, and exclusion. One learns how not to become unwholesome before unwholesomeness fully forms. So I think when you learn about these 12 sense bases as Satipaṭṭhāna practice, what you are supposed to do is 6 steps with regard to 6 pairs. Can you tell me what are those 6 steps? Let's take about what you call tongue and taste. You have to know your tongue, number 1. Second, you have to know the taste that comes to your tongue. Third, you have to know how does my tongue and the taste create a fetter based on that connection. Fourth, you have to know how fetters arise.
Right.
That to your tongue and taste experience. The 5th one, you have to know how to remove that particular fetter. And 6th, you have to know how to take care of your tongue and taste for future fetters. Can we think about a practical example for this? Do we have any favorite food that we like to eat? We have, right? And then we can use one of the examples for that. Okay. Do we have fetters with regard to? Do we have kamaraga? Do we have what you call sakkaya ditthi with regard to the food? Yes, we do. We may have. Right? So checking back and forth about how much sakkaya ditthi, how much mana, how much kamaraga that I personally develop with regard to any of those pairs, right, will help me to practice Dhammānupassanā. All right, so at this point, we will have a Q&A. If you have any questions, please raise your virtual hand and we will discuss that after. Okay, what are the questions you got for Dhammānupassanā's 12 sense bases section? Until you come up with a question, I like to share something very interesting. You know, when people introduce the Buddha, they use a word called Sabbanyu, right? Have you heard this word?
Yes, the omniscient one.
Omniscient one. Sabbanyu. Maybe I'm gonna type it for other people here. No. Sabbanyu. Okay. So when a lot of people ask from the Buddha, are you Sabbanyu? Buddha had clearly denied that he is Sabbanyu in many suttas. I'm not omniscient. Then other, actually Brahmins push him to accept that you are Sabbanyu, omniscient, because Niganthanatha Putta, other contemporary Buddhist, non-Buddhist teachers, they were telling that they are Sabbanyu. But Buddha never accepted that he is omniscient. Then who told that the Buddha is omniscient? That's a good question. There is a book that comes under Kuddaka Nikaya called Patisambhida Magga. This book. Patisambhida Magga comes under the Kuddaka Nikaya. This book is attributed to Arahant Sariputta and his monks, his fellow monks. So they told in that book that the Buddha is omniscient in many ways. I think more than 30-40 ways he is omniscient. Okay. So now there is this concern when the Buddha rejected that he was Sabbanyu, why monks telling him that he is Sabbanyu? Right? That's a kind of a question. Then I want to tell you that there is a sutta somewhere, I think we have to find out. It is called Sabba Sutta. Let me find that out. Sabba Sutta. Okay, I found it. Samyutta Nikaya 34. Let's go there. Sutta. Sabasutta. Now let me show you something very interesting here. Sabasutta. Okay. You can see the Sabasutta, right? The all. Samyutta Nikaya 35.23. The all consists of the 6 internal and external sense, which is exactly what we discussed today. What does it say? Savatti bhikkhus, I will teach you the all. Listen to that. And what bhikkhus is the all? The eye and the form, chakkurupa. The ear and sound, sota sabda. The nose and smell odors, what do you call? Gana and gandha. The tongue and taste, jivuha and rasa. The body and tactile object means touch, kaya, potthabba. The mind and mental phenomena. That means mano and dhamma. This is called the all. If anyone, because should speak thus, having rejected this all, I shall make known another all, that would be a mere empty boast on his part. If he were questioned, he would not be able to reply, and further he would meet with vexation, anger. For what reason? Because that would not be within his domain. Actually, in this sutta, what we understand is Buddha is saying he knows all. He knows all can be taken as he knows all, Sabbanyu. But that Sabbanyu is not he knows everything. It means, everything here means, when you want to know from someone, hey, do you know everything? Yeah, I know science, I know humanities, I know this subject, I know corporate industry. Actually, in Buddhism, what is all? All refers to 6 internal and external sense bases. If you don't know how they happen, how they arise, how the fetters appear, then you don't know anything. Understand? Then as a Buddhist, if you ask from someone, you look like knowing everything, you know anything, you can do anything. Yes, physically, materially, yes. But in Buddhism, when someone, do you know everything? That means knowing exactly the 12 sense bases based on the 6 steps. Then in that sense, Buddha is Sabbanya. In that sense, Buddha is omniscient. But Buddha never, he was very humble, always saying, I don't accept I am omniscient. Because if he accepted, he will become another teacher like him. So then, if you learn about these 6 pairs, you will know everything in your spiritual life. Then you know how akusalas come. All right, any questions? I think, Alia, you said something here, right, earlier? What is that? Take deep breaths, yeah. Telling some true things to someone but can cause. Okay. Okay, can we remove fetters kindly so that they don't leave us with resistance? Yes, I don't think we have any anger towards fetters. I don't think if you are angry, then they will keep with us. Yeah, definitely. Right? So we have to compassionately, kindly, wisely do it. Right? Yeah, so that's the way. Because we cannot do any ninja attacks, ambuscades on akusala, right? Akusalas are akusala. So we have to kindly, wisely accept that we have akusala. That's what Buddha is saying. You have to know fetter has come to you. Now you have to know how to remove. You have to know when you remove, how not to have it. Yes, Sumita, your question.
You just repeated the thing. I got it already. Actually, I didn't get the first and second item. I got it third, fourth, fifth, and sixth. Can Bhante please repeat the first 2?
First 2 means Buddha was trying to teach us. Now, with regard to each sense sense base, the first 2 are the internal sense base and external sense base. So we have to know, understand, and know what is it. What is my eye? What is the rupa, sights that come to my eyes? What is my ear? then what are the sounds that come to mind? Actually, when I want to know it, then I have to find out how they are dependently creating the fetter. That is the knowing actually.
Yeah.
And how they are becoming, how that fetter can become a fetter, and how to remove it, and how not to have it in the future. So
Yeah.
knowing, those first two knowings are referring to the rest of the processes, the
Mm.
four things.
Okay. Thank you very much. Okay.
The sixth one is taking care
Of tongue
of the
and taste
faculty for the
future.
future. So is really the key thing is not clinging to it, right?
No, the sixth one is now
Taking care of,
what is your sense factor. Let's say your tongue, and you know the taste that can affect your tongue. Okay. So the third one is you know the particular fetter that can come to that experience, the dependent connection.
yeah.
The fourth one is
It's amazing.
How the
yeah,
fetter
fourth one
connects.
is unfortunately now the fetter has come, at that point. So I had to know it. Fetter has come or not. The fifth one is I had to remove. Sixth one is now I have to take every precaution not to have it in.
Prevent it.
Yeah, preventing. I have to do preventative activities. So
Prevent.
yes,
Not to let it arise. Prevent
not
it
to
from
let it
arising.
arise. Not to let it arise.
Yeah.
So I have to follow preventative measures. And I always say that don't wait until the akusala hits you. To do the preparatory
Prevention.
activities, preventative things.
Okay. And Bhante, for Kamaraga, these feathers, Kamaraga, is it the core of it is the sixth sense space, right? Or is it the Kamaraga over we look at the desire, temptation, the feathers?
No,
Or
when you
the
look
core
at,
that relates to the sixth sense base here should be the one that we should anchor to.
okay, if you
Working
now
on
you
it.
are wondering about what kind of kamaraga this talks
Yeah.
about, right? Okay.
Yeah.
When you say Kamaraga, you need to read the first 2-3 suttas in the Anguttara Nikaya. The Buddha is saying the Kamaraga means the pleasures people look from opposite gender. For a man, the Kamaraga is the best sight, sound, smell, taste, touch, and the thought from the opposite gender. And for a
Okay.
woman, vice versa. So that means the
Okay.
Buddha is saying Kamaraga means a moment that somebody is getting all six in one situation. Normally, when you eat food, that's it, right? Food is food. But with that experience, Kamaraga becomes a lust. Okay, so here Kamaraga is particularly about the lust. And the Buddha is saying that lust has roots to seeing that particular person, hearing his or her sound, smell, taste, touch, and the experiences, memory as an experience about that person. So all the six karmas are intensified to the highest level when you have that kind of feeling.
Okay.
The kamaraga, lust here.
I see. I see.
Yes.
Thank you,
So please, you
Bhante.
can read the first two suttas in the Anguttara Nikaya.
And first two sutta. Thank
First
you,
two,
Bhante.
very first
Thank you.
and second, where Buddha say what is kamaraga. All right, any other questions? Melinda, you have a question?
Yeah, Bhante.
Yes.
Can Bhante please repeat the 6 steps? I think the
Okay.
first two.
Okay.
Doing.
Can we go to the note again, very in brief? I think I have given it here. I will see
Okay.
it here. Okay, I will show you here again. Okay, let's take first one. Eyes and sight. Okay. First one is knowing that internal sense faculty. Okay. You can see it, right? Second is knowing the external sense faculty. Second. Third is knowing the sanyojana that arises because of the connection between internal sense faculty and external sense faculty. That's the third. This is second. Then the fourth, knowing the arisen fetter. Now, sadly speaking, unfortunately, fetter has already arisen, the fourth. Fifth one, knowing how to remove the existing samyoja, fetter. That's the fifth one. And sixth one, how to prevent future arising of any fetter. Does it make sense? Knowing the internal faculty, knowing the external faculty, knowing how the fetter arises depending on the connection of the two, and knowing how the fetter has arisen, fourth, and knowing how to remove the fetter, fifth, knowing how to prevent the future fetters. So that applies to all the 6 pairs.
Thank you, Bhante. Wow,
Only when
much-
you do that, you have Dhammānupassanā here as a part of 12 sense space. Okay, I think that's all right. So in this case, we are going to think about all the teachings we discussed today. So you can practice this as a Satipaṭṭhāna thing. So you don't have to sit down for that, right? This is all happening when you communicate, exchange with the sense faculties. Every day, every moment, even now, you are engaging with a certain sense faculty. So you can, on the spot, apply. You can apply these teachings head on, right? So try to look at how they are going to make sense to you. And then that will itself become the Dhammānupassanā here. So next Friday, we are going to pick up Bojjhanga. Very interesting, right? 7 Bojjhanga and how they are going to be used as a Satipaṭṭhāna practice. Because you know Bojjhanga as a chanting. I hope that this Bojjhanga as a Dhammānupassanā will enlighten you, not as a chanting, something that is going beyond that. So in that case, let us contemplate, reflect about all the good karmas which we've been doing today by learning about Dhammānupassana's 12 sense bases and how to practice them. And may all the good karmas that we've been creating through knowing this teaching under Dhammānupassana be transferred to all departed ones who passed away in the name of all of us. May all the departed ones be well and happy, and may they attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Idang mi nyati nam sukita
Ida hontu nyatayo. Ida minati nam hotu. Sukita hontu nyatayo.
Idang
Ida
mi
minati nam hotu. Sukita hontu nyatayo.
May Deva, Naga, Mahitika receive all these good karmas which we made through learning Dhammānupassana's 12 sense bases. May they be well and happy, and may they protect and bless all of us for good health, quality of life, prosperity, safety, happiness. May Deva, Naga, Mahitika also finally attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Ittavata cha amhehi sambatang punya sampadang sabbe deva anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Ittavata cha amhehi sambatang punya sampadang sabbe bhuta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Ittavata cha amhehi sambatang punya sampadang sabbe satta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Akasatta ca Bhummata Devanaga Mahidika Punyantam Anumoditva Chirang Rakhang Susasana. Akasatta ca Bhummata Devanaga Mahidika Punyantam Anumoditva Chirang Rakhang Susasana. Akasatta ca Bhummata Devanaga Mahidika Punyantam Anumoditva
Chirang
Rakhang
Mamram.
Chirang Rakhang Tupan Sadati. Dhammavish is the next. Our Dhammavish is to be surrounded with Kalyana Mitras all the way to Nibbana, and may we become Kalyana Mitras to as many sentient beings as we meet in this journey till we attain Nibbana. Imina punya kammena mami bala samagamu satang samagamu hotu yaga Nibbana patya. Finally, let us contemplate, reflect upon all the good karmas that we are making today by learning this beautiful, very insightful practice about practicing Dhammānupassanā with 12 sense spaces. May all these good karmas finally be supportive and helpful for all of us to attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Abhivadana sirisse niccang vaddha pacāino Chattaru Dhamma Vaddhanti Ayuvanno Sukhang Balam Ayurarogya Sampatti Sagga Sampatti Nevacha Ato Nibbana Sampatti Iminate Samichatu. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay, with those blessings, wishing you a pleasant good night. Till we see again next Friday.
Thank you, Bhante.
Thank you, Bhante. Sadhu,
Thank you, Bhante.
Thank you, Bhante.
Thank you, Bhante.
Thank
Sadhu,
you,
sadhu,
Bhante.
sadhu,
Thank
sadhu.
you. Sadhu, sadhu.
Thank you,
Good night,
Bhante.
everyone.
Sadhu, sadhu,
Thank you,
sadhu,
Bhante.
sadhu.
Sadhu.
And good night.
Good
Take
night.
care.
Good night.
Brother, sister.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you, Sister Aliana.
Thank you,
Yes.
Sister Melinda. See you next week.
See you.
Good night.
See you.
See
Bye-bye.
you. Good night.
Bye.
Good night, Bhante.
Good
Thank
night.
you. Yeah.
Good night,
In Langkawi? Still in Langkawi?
No, I came to Kedah, Alostra.
Wow.
And yes, and then I'm here. I'm going back to Langkawi again on 14. I have 2 talks before I'm coming. Yes.
That's amazing, huh?
I'm still on
The Buddhist
Facebook.
community is active there, huh?
Yes.
Happy to hear that. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Very good tourist place nowadays in Langkawi.
Bhante, can we
Yeah, Langkawi, yes.
off the Facebook from
Yes, I think we have to.
Bhante
I will